you will see the most beautiful girls in the world in these villages. I almost felt like getting out of the bus sometimes and walking around these little villages. Like, number one, if you're a foreigner in these villages, you will get a lot of attention from girls. And number two, they're all beautiful. I'm going from Butuan to Dumaguete, Philippines. Okay, so here we go. The objective to this trip is to be interviewed by Mark. Every Man Has a Story. So that's where I'm going, Dumaguete, and I'm going to be interviewed by Mark. Every Man Has a Story. So as many of you know, I was in Butuan for a month in order to meet my LDR. The 1 month in my aunt-filled apartment, it was up, okay? 1 month was up. The LDR did not work out as planned, okay? And these things happen sometimes. So, I'm moving on. I talked to one particular girl about my apartment being filled with ants, because that was sort of the thing I didn't like about this apartment. And she said, probably it's because you didn't keep your house clean. I said, well, okay, blame it on Scotty boy. I guess if I wipe the apartment down with bleach every 12 hours, the ants will go to the neighbor's house. Anyway, before leaving the apartment, I had to pay my electric bill. And in the last video, I estimated it would be 900 pesos, but it was only 610 pesos. Anyway, just wanted to get that out there. So after, I got everything packed in the morning, I got my way from the apartment to Robinson's Mall, because that's where the bus terminal is that is heading in the direction of CDO, which is west. The other bus terminal goes sort of south, north, and east. Anyway, I'm going to CDO, right? So I arrive at the bus terminal, and I thought I better eat before this long bus ride. I was a little on the hungry side, that morning. Not terribly hungry, but I thought I got a long bus ride. I might as well eat something. I arrive at the back entrance of Robinson's Mall, where the bus terminal is, and the door was locked, right? I couldn't get in, but I did see people inside the mall eating at this cafe. So I budged the door open about 2 inches and asked them how they got in the mall if the door is locked. So they said, I have to enter from the front entrance, which is the main entrance. So I could have waited 20 minutes for the mall to fully open, including the back door where I was, or I could haul all my bags over to the front entrance of the mall. Quite a long walk. And the mall is still closed, right? So I tell the security guy that I'm going to the coffee shop, and he lets me in, the main entrance in the front. So I make my way to Fulcrum's coffee shop, and I eat my coffee and my pasta for breakfast. Okay, then after eating, I got a message on my phone saying that my SIM card is expiring in 60 minutes, right? So I got to get a new SIM card. So after eating, I go up to the 3rd floor of Robinson's to get a new SIM card, okay? I told them I don't know how the registration thing works, and if they can please figure that out for me, right? I'm not even sure if she did anything in regard to registering, but I did get the SIM card. She just refilled my old one, and that one was already registered. So I don't know if I really had to re-register something. I'm just hoping it's all on some automatic thing, right? So anyway, I'll just, let the chips fall where they may. I hope that works out. Everything's fine so far. So then anyway, I'm all set for my trip. Okay, I got my stomach full. I got my SIM card, and I exit the backside of Robinson's, and I quickly find my bus. Now, the good thing in Phil's with the bus system is that you don't need to make reservations, or, you don't need to think about like what time the buses are going here or there, wherever you're going. Buses just leave all the time for wherever, I never waited more than 5 minutes for a bus, and I never made any reservations. So anyway, just before I got on the bus, I put my luggage below in the carriage. And whenever I do this in Phil's, I always get an uneasy feeling that it just won't be there by the time I arrive. By mistake or on purpose or whatever, I don't know. It's just a feeling I get because, people are on and off throughout the trip. So it's just a little bit nervous. Someone's going to take it out sort of by accident. But, when I sat down on the bus to start the journey, I'm the type of guy who follows my feelings, right? And when I sat down, I did have a good feeling. I felt rested, looking forward to saying adios to Butuan and hello to CDO. For those who don't know, I did spend a month in CDO just prior to the scary virus 3 years ago. So, it's not an entirely strange city to me. So now I got some footage of the trip that you're looking at, and I got one thing to say about this bus trip, which passed through the entire northwest coast of Mindanao. You will pass by these small mountain villages, coastline villages, and you will see the most beautiful girls in the world in these villages. I almost felt like getting out of the bus sometimes and walking around these little villages. Like, number one, if you're a foreigner in these villages, you will get a lot of attention from girls. And number two, they're all beautiful and they're all freaking ready to marry you. I mean, assuming you're not 300 years old and in a wheelchair, you know? But fantastic little villages on the way. So anyway, we arrive at the CDO bus terminal, and as usual, it's a freaking train wreck of a place. As soon as the doors open on the bus, it's taxi, 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 sir, sir, sir. And you just want to get rid of these people and get away from them, right? But something else happened that scared the living bejesus out of me, okay? I got out of the bus and walked past these guys, because that was the only thing on my mind as soon as the back door opened. And I made my way to the taxi area. And if you haven't noticed my mistake already, I'm in the taxi. Okay, I'm just putting my duffel bag in the back seat of the taxi when I had this feeling that something was missing, right? Yes, you guessed right. My goddamn suitcase was still on the bus in the below part. I never got it out. So I grabbed my duffel bag from the taxi and said sorry to the taxi guy and sprinted as fast as I could back to the bus where I got out. And it had been, a few minutes. So the bus was long gone. So I ran into the area where all the buses were, the departure area. I ran past the security guy. They tried to stop me, but I said, my bags. And they just let me through. And to be honest, I wish I was filming this. It would have been fantastic in hindsight. I didn't have the camera in my hand. I was so paranoid at this time. So anyway, I'm going up to every worker there I see, and I'm saying, my bag, where's my bag? It was under the carriage here. They all said, I don't know, and I'm freaking the F out. And then after asking like maybe 15 employees, I find the guy who was the ticket agent on the bus, the guy who you pay, that, went from Butuan to CDO on my bus, right? And I said, sir, my bag is still on the bus. And honestly, at first, it looked like he didn't give a freaking F, and I wouldn't let go of his arm, And he said, calm down. He was finishing up what he was doing while I was holding on to his arm the whole time, like a little kid, and then he and I, we went walking over to some different area down the road. It was like halfway down the road. I'm thinking like, dude, where are we going? Like all the buses are over there. I need to get to our bus, where we originally were, and the guy didn't speak English very well. Anyway, we kept walking to this closed off area about half a block away. And again, I wish I was filming this, I'm just barely getting the hang of this walking around with the camera thing. Anyway, so he told me to sit down and wait on this bench, okay, this derelict looking bench. At the entrance, right? Because, I couldn't go in. It was only for employees. Okay, so I'm just waiting there for about 5 minutes. And, he did return with my luggage. And, I gave him 1,000 freaking pesos. And he said, oh, thanks. I can buy my baby something. I didn't understand what he said. So anyway, hell of a nice guy. He would have done it for free, right? But I just thought, he saved my freaking butt, So I gave him 1,000 pesos. He deserved 2,000, but whatever. I gave him 1,000. So now I have my bag and my suitcase, and I'm good to go. And I head back to the taxi area, as it's a rat fest of a scamming area, but there's no way to avoid it. You need a taxi. So it's such a horrible setup they have there at the bus terminal. So, anyway, I need a taxi to my hotel. And I tell him which hotel. It was the Rich Manor, and he said 150. Now, it would have been 60 with the meter, okay? 50 or 60. But I was so wrecked after this ordeal with my luggage. I said, sure, let's go. So we get to the hotel and we pass through this poor area of CDO that I've never seen before. He took a shortcut. And this area was like one street long. And I've never seen it before, even though I lived there. So I thought, okay, tomorrow I'm going to come here with a camera. But it turns out my ferry was at 10:40 a.m. So I didn't have time, but when next time I go to CDO, I am going to film down these sort of poorer areas. They're pretty interesting. Anyway, it was a very strange street in the middle of the city, and I look forward to filming it next time. So anyway, here we go. Arriving at the Rich Manor Hotel. I enter and pay. I didn't ask to see a room because I had looked at the room last time I was here and it looked fine, So I pay, I go to my room, and I realized it kind of stunk. It was like a mildew smell that was being covered up by chemicals. It was horrible. Anyway, I thought, it's okay. I didn't feel like going from hotel to hotel. So, I just make it my home for 12 hours. So I had two things on my to-do list here in CDO. The first thing on my list was to buy a ticket to Dumaguete to meet every man as a story, Mr. Mark. And second thing was to find the homeless foreigner. Okay, so there was I met him on my last trip a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to know how we ended up on the street. So I walked to the mall where both the ticket and the homeless foreigner are. And the first thing I noticed is that the foreigner was not there. Okay, so I went to buy the ticket. So I'm gonna get the ticket. So I got my passport now. And so with the passports, I think it's required to get the ferry ticket. Whenever you travel by bus, you just need a bunch of cash on you. And when you travel by good old ferry, you got to show a ticket that you are they're going to register you in the books. So if you have broken the law before, who the hell is on a blacklist, right? Not too many people-roonies. Hello, people. I come here, and then what happens? It is good old. Hello. The bus. Hello, sir. Hello. So when I get out of the... What the hell? Where the hell's my suitcase? I said, yo, dude, I forgot my luggage under the bus. Hello, wow, Seoul. Cool. Reward. It is reward time because this guy deserves a reward. I almost hugged the guy. I only gave him 1,000 peso reward. I should have given him more. He was worthy. This guy was worthy of more. He went... They got to change the location after the big scary virus thing, right? So this hotel stinks, and I want to get out of there as soon as possible. So the faster I get out of there, if I can book a place. Oh, I forgot. If I go over there, okay, I'm gonna go over here because there's someone I wanted to meet last time. There's a homeless foreigner guy who hangs out over here. If I could have an interview with the guy, find out his struggles in life, that would be pretty interesting. I'm gonna sit down and have a coffee with the guy, but I gotta find him first. If we can... I'd like to just get my ferry ticket first for my peace of mind, but let's see if the foreigner is there. Let's see if the foreign dude is there, and if he's not there, and my ferry, for example, is tomorrow afternoon, then I'm going to just come back a second time tomorrow and see if he's available then. If he can. I mean, I don't want to bother the guy, right? But if he's there, it's a guy with a bit of an accent. Let's see, we got some peeperoonies. Peeperoonies, though there's no foreign dude here, so that's too bad. That's missing out on a nice interview. Okay. I remember a long time ago I made a video about this location, but I was using Google Maps. But now it's interesting because now it's actually right here, as opposed to having to use Google Maps. I think the security dude is going to take my thing away. Hello. Can I buy ferry tickets? A ferry ticket?
Second city, sir.
Where?
City.
What is that?
Other building, sir.
Other building.
This way.
So where do I go?
Straight,
And then what floor?
ground floor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna head to the ground floor here. Now, the beauty of this sucker is this mall here is that it's kind of like the mall that is busy based on, it's just not as exactly prestigious. It's here. When you come here, we want to get down to the Ground floor. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Hello, is this ground floor? Where's the ferries? Will you buy tickets for the ferries? It's this way. Okay, thank you. Okay, now, if I could just get the ticket, because, you know, honestly, my motivation to getting the hell out of here is that I'm staying in this hotel that, honestly, it stinks, right? It was only 875 pesos, but there's one big problem, because this thing, it sort of smells like, not good. Hello, where can I buy tickets for the ferry? Oh, Filipino one? Okay. The only place that was open, because I got there about 6 p.m., so the only place that was open that was selling tickets to Bohol, and it had long lineups because it was the only one open. There was some kind of holiday coming up. I later learned it was like the Holy Week, okay, on April whatever, 4th, 5th, 6th, something like that. So I think so many people were there buying tickets in preparation of this thing. So it was just bad timing. But slowly, you know, I did get my way to the front to buy my ticket and had no problems, other than for the second time, me getting the ferry, they spelled my name wrong. Okay, so I look at the ticket and it's spelled Scoot. Okay, it's spelled Scoot, not Scott. So anyway, as it turns out, it was no big deal. You know, they let me on the ferry. They didn't care if it was Scoot or Scott. They didn't care. So anyway, after that long lineup, I felt like getting a coffee and cake. Okay, perfecto. Got the... Oh, it's okay. We'll go to the mall next door. Okay, got the ticket to good old Jagna, because you got to pass through Bohol if you want to get to... So we're going to head down to the other mall. There's another mall right there. And there we're going to get a bite to eat and a cup of coffee, because hey, when you got the hectic, when you're as hectic as this, you need a bite to eat. This is it's a little bit on the busy side, but hey, you know, we do what we gotta do. I'll just follow this guy. He knows where to go. Okay, I'm gonna follow my good buddy here, and he's gonna show me how to get to the other side. Oh crap. Follow this guy. Okay, cool. Okay, my buddy here. Hey, sir, thank you. There's nothing I feel like more than a good old bucks. There's nothing better than a good bucks on a hectic day. And we're gonna skedaddle past these great people. And where is it? Where is Starbucks? Okay, we're gonna pass by this pretty lady. Okay, so my first ever cake at Starbucks. And I got a cake because I saw someone else eating the cake and it looked good. Anyway, I sat down for a while to unwind after that long light up and, you know, just people watch out the window. Then I went back to my stinky hotel and washed, okay? The shower pressure was good. It was fantastic, which was very nice. You know, I had 1 month of low water pressure for the shower in Butuan, and oh my God, what a difference a good shower pressure makes. So that night in the hotel, I just transferred videos from the Insta360 camera to my computer so that I can edit it later. So anyway, you know, I wake up and thank God it's time to get out of Dodge. But I was hungry because, you know, I didn't have a dinner. I just had coffee and a cake for dinner. So after packing up my stuff, I headed out to the lobby and I asked her where at this time, you know, prior to the mall's opening, can I get a breakfast? And she said, you can have a breakfast in the hotel. So I did just that. You know, I sat down and had a breakfast and I ordered pork adobo and coffee. Both were great. So kudos to Rich Manor. Your hotel might stink, but you do make a good breakfast, okay? In this little area where we're dining area, there was another foreign dude. He walked in with his two obvious prosties. Anyway, he does what he does anyway. So anyway, I finish up eating and I grab a taxi. Nice security guard got me a taxi and told the taxi guy to put on the meter. So that was very nice of him. So I got a taxi to the ferry terminal and had no issues. Okay, so last time I was here, it was 3 years ago. So they made me open all the bags in the security area and take a bunch of stuff out. But this time there was nothing. So, I make my way to the ferry and find my bunk and start doing more video stuff. It's a great job being a full-time YouTuber. I do hope this whole YouTubing thing works out. By the way, I made 5,000 pesos yesterday because of that 1,000 peso video. Did pretty well. So anyway, that's okay. So just a lesson learned, if you want to be a tuber, if you can find a way to put a big pair of cans on the thumbnail, no matter what the subject is, it will do well. The video will do well. So, but that's just a secret, between you and me. Okay. So anyway, I get on the ferry and, I'm on my way to Jagna Bohol because that was the only ferry trip available. There was not an option to get a ferry to Tagbilaran or Dumaguete, so note to Rob in Panglao, as it turns out, this great gent, he offered me a place to stay for a night or two. He offered me a place to stay if I was in the Tagbilaran area or the Panglao area. But, I changed my plans on him so many times in regard to actually, spending the night there at his place. It was very disrespectful to change the plans last minute or last second. Rob knows what I'm talking about. I had some nefarious things to do. Rob knows what I'm talking about. I always I did go against Rob's better judgment. He did advise me. Rob knows, wink, wink, what I'm talking about. Rob's a good guy. I am a horrible friend, and I do apologize to Rob. Please forgive me. But yeah, Rob knows. So I do apologize to Rob for not being a good friend to you, my good man. Anyway, okay, let's move on here. So I'm on the ferry, and it's not the VIP area or the tourist area as they call it. And the reason is, it's only at 200 pesos more, but I got it last time and it was so cold with the aircon that I spent all my time outside, in the, where it's the cheaper place to stay, in the open air place. So when I booked the ticket, the lovely lady said, there is no tourist area available, right? It was full. So I said, no worries. I didn't want to freeze to death anyway. As you know, I'm a man of the peeperoonies and I'm quite happy being in the outdoor fresh air area. So after about 5 hours on the ferry was 10 a.m. to, what was it, 7 p.m. Okay, but after about 5 hours on the ferry, I'm just pacing back and forth. And I'm so ready to just get off the ferry and get to Jagna. One problem is I found out it's Holy Week and all the ferries are going to be full. Someone on the ferry told me that, the woman who was sitting next to me. So prior to that, I knew something was going on as there were notices on the wall where I booked the ticket, but there was no reference to any Holy Week, right? So anyway, I'm arriving at Jagna, wondering exactly what am I going to do? Like, am I going to be stuck here? So all the great people on the ferry, they were super friendly, Everyone was just a friendly person, as all Filipinos are. Anyway, we all got off the ferry, and I'm still contemplating staying at a hotel or getting my butt to Tagbilaran, because if I get to Tagbilaran on that night, I can try to get my last chance, as I thought, to get a ticket to Dumaguete in the morning, right? But, I would like to stay in Jagna for a few nights for nostalgic reasons, right? But if I stay here a couple nights, I might be stuck here. That was my thinking at the time, because that's what someone told me. They said if I don't get a ticket now, I will be stuck there. So anyway, as I exit the ferry and into Jagna, I bump into... I'm leaving. I've just entered Jagna. Guess who I bump into, right? The freaking Bohol girl.